I never thought I'd be writing something like this, but my entire life turned into a nightmare during what was supposed to be one of the happiest days of my pregnancy, my baby shower. Everything was planned perfectly. The pastel decorations, the cupcakes with little baby booties, the warm laughter of family and friends filling the room. I was glowing, or at least I thought I was, until she walked in, my husband's mistress, the woman I didn't even know existed until that exact moment. She didn't sneak in quietly. She strutted in confidently, wearing a smug smile that immediately made my stomach drop. Everyone turned their heads, confused. I remember standing near the cake table, holding my swollen belly protectively and wondering who she was. Then she said it loud enough for everyone to hear. "Since everyone's celebrating a new baby, I thought it'd be the perfect time to announce that I'm pregnant too." The room fell completely silent. You could have heard a pin drop. My mom's jaw literally dropped open, my best friend's face turned red with fury, and I just froze. My husband, who had been standing beside me seconds earlier, suddenly looked like he wanted to vanish. The color drained from his face, and I could see his mind racing, trying to figure out how to fix what was now a public disaster. It took me a full 10 seconds to process what she had said. And then it hit me, she was talking about my husband. She turned her gaze directly toward him and smiled. The kind of smile that said, "I've won." That's when I realized this wasn't an accident. She came there on purpose. I wish I could say I handled it gracefully, but I didn't. I felt my chest tighten, my eyes burn with tears, and my hands shake uncontrollably. I asked her, voice trembling, "What are you talking about?" And she just shrugged and said, "Ask your husband. He didn't tell you. I thought you both were happy to be expanding your little family." The audacity of it made my head spin. Everyone was staring at us, my friends, my relatives, even my husband's mother. The woman who came to celebrate my baby was now watching her son's secret explode right in front of everyone. My husband stammered something about it being a mistake and not what it looks like. But it was exactly what it looked like. The mistress held up her phone and showed text messages, photos, even a sonogram he'd sent her. My husband's name was right there in the messages, calling her baby, saying he couldn't wait to meet their child. I felt my world collapse. My knees nearly gave out. My best friend grabbed me just in time to keep me from falling. The baby shower decorations blurred through my tears. The pink and blue balloons that once symbolized hope now mocking me with every floating color. My husband tried to grab my hand, but I yanked it away. "Don't touch me," I said, my voice breaking. The mistress didn't stop there. She wanted a scene. She started shouting about how he had promised her he'd leave me, that he told her our marriage was just for the baby. She laughed and said, "Guess he couldn't keep his lies straight." I watched my husband crumble under the weight of his own deceit. The man I thought was my forever partner was just standing there, silent, ashamed, caught. Eventually, one of my cousins escorted her out, but the damage was done. My baby shower turned into a war zone. Guests didn't know what to say or do. Some left quietly, others stayed to comfort me, and my husband, my ex-husband now, just sat outside, head in his hands, while I packed up the gifts in silence. That night, I went home alone. I locked myself in the nursery that we had painted together and cried until my eyes were swollen shut. The irony hit me, the tiny crib, the soft blankets, the little clothes waiting for a baby who deserved so much better than this chaos. A week later, I filed for divorce. He begged, cried, claimed it was just a mistake. But I couldn't forgive the betrayal, especially when another innocent child was involved. I told him I hoped he'd at least be a better father than he was a husband. He said he wanted to be part of our baby's life, and I agreed for the baby's sake, not his. Months later, I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. She's my reason to keep going, my reminder that strength can be born from heartbreak. I've learned that sometimes the truth shows up uninvited, even at your baby shower, but it also sets you free. And as for his mistress, she gave birth around the same time I did. 2 babies born weeks apart, both with the same father but completely different worlds waiting for them. I don't hate her anymore, I pity her. Because someday she'll realize the same truth I did, that a man who cheats on one pregnant woman will always find a reason to betray the next. Now I'm focusing on rebuilding my life, one day at a time. My baby's laughter fills the space where pain once lived. And whenever I look at her, I silently thank the woman who tried to ruin me. Because in exposing the truth, she set me free. After that disastrous day, my world felt like it had shattered into 1,000 pieces. I remember waking up the next morning surrounded by unopened baby shower gifts, balloons half deflated, and my phone flooded with messages from friends and family asking if I was okay. I wasn't. I felt hollow, betrayed, humiliated, and yet strangely calm, like I was floating outside of my own body, watching my life burn from a distance. My husband tried to call me over and over. At first, I ignored him, but when he started showing up at my mother's house, where I had gone to stay for a while, I finally agreed to talk, just to hear what kind of excuse he thought could possibly fix this. We sat in the living room and he looked miserable. He said he was sorry, that it was a mistake, that he had ended things with her months ago and didn't think she would go that far. I stared at him in disbelief. Months ago. Meaning it really did happen. He didn't even deny it. I asked him one question. Did you love her? He couldn't answer. He just stared down at the floor, silent, his hands shaking. That silence told me everything I needed to know. Over the next few weeks, I went through a blur of emotions. Anger, grief, disgust, heartbreak, numbness. I would wake up in the middle of the night crying, clutching my belly, feeling my baby kick inside me as if reminding me I had something worth surviving for. My mom became my rock, my best friend never left my side. And slowly I began to realize that the baby inside me was not a reminder of him, but of me, my strength, my resilience, my ability to endure. The mistress, or rather his other woman, didn't stay quiet after the baby shower either. She posted photos online of her pregnancy, captioned with things like strong mama and new beginnings. At one point, she even posted a sonogram with his last name tagged. The humiliation burned all over again. I blocked her everywhere, but mutual friends kept sending me screenshots. I begged them to stop. I didn't want to see any of it. When our daughter was born, my husband showed up at the hospital. I didn't want him there, but a part of me knew she deserved to meet her father, no matter how broken our relationship was. He cried when he saw her real tears this time and whispered, "She's perfect." I didn't say anything. I just held my baby tighter. I let him hold her for a moment, but I couldn't shake the image of him holding another woman's belly, whispering those same words. We agreed to co-parent civilly. It wasn't easy. He tried to visit often, tried to play the role of the perfect father, but every time he came over, I could feel the awkward tension, the ghost of betrayal sitting between us. Then came the day he told me that his mistress had also given birth to a baby boy. I remember the silence that followed that revelation. It was surreal. Two babies, born from two women who had loved the same man, living parallel lives. Months passed. I focused on my daughter, my career, and healing. I started therapy, and that was the best decision I ever made. My therapist helped me understand that his betrayal wasn't a reflection of my worth. She helped me let go of the shame that wasn't mine to carry. Then one evening, I got an unexpected message from her, the mistress. She said, "I just wanted to say I'm sorry for what happened. I didn't know he was still with you when it started. He told me you were separated." I didn't respond right away. For a week I stared at that message, unsure what to feel. Anger, pity, relief. Eventually I replied with one sentence. "He lied to both of us." She wrote back, "You're right, he's not with me